What's the name of the podcast, Ethan?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's not comedy.
It's not going to be a podcast. It's going to be a fucking train wreck.
I wouldn't say that.
Thanks to Chris for coming on the podcast. Chris runs the Clown and Anchor at the Crown and Anchor.
Yeah, it's a comedy night. It's the longest running comedy night in Newcastle every second Tuesday at the Crown and Anchor Hotel. You can just sign up on the night and have a go. We've got professional MCs and comedians also. But if you're a comedy fan, you can come down and be entertained as you eat a $2 taco for the price of only $2, and they're gourmet. So I'll hope to see you there.
Thanks, Chris. $2 is a small price to pay to watch Ethan and Mitch eat shit on stage.
Yeah.
The other sponsor that we have is Cream Fiend Delivery. If you need to bake a cake at 10 o'clock at night, you know the drill. Give Cream Fiend a call. They'll help you out with your baking needs.
And if you have any questions about ayahuasca or want to see pictures of my ayahuasca journey, you can follow me on Instagram at Chris Butler Comedian.
That's
On
how you got
Instagram.
3,000 followers. All these trippers like, I really want to do it, but I don't know.
I'm getting Instagram now so that I can also plug an Instagram. You can follow me at Facebook. No, don't follow me on Facebook. That's all I've got. I've got Twitter.
Welcome to How to Not Comedy with Ethan and Mitchell.
Don't
And
call me
Chris.
Mitchell.
Oh, no, I called him Mitchell because he hates being called
I'm
Mitchell.
just doing an Instagram post to let people know to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. It's not on Spotify yet. I did sign up for Spotify, and it's like, we'll email you. I was like, sweet. And then 2 days later, I'm like, you still haven't emailed me.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
cunts.
You've done more for our marketing than I have in the past since ever.
No, like, I did pretty well the other day. I spelled Eddie's name wrong.
How'd you spell it?
Wrong.
Fucking, I don't know. I spelled it like 3 different ways too. It was wrong in the title, but it was correct in the bio. And then Ethan's like, "We don't do our bio like our titles like that, you fucking cunt." And I was like, "Jesus, all right, I'll fucking delete it."
You just drew like a picture of a generic woman, just like hieroglyphics.
I really
Yeah.
went on the attack.
Yeah, he was an angry boy that day.
Yeah.
He's fucking just smashing the boom.
My bad. I headbutted the mic stand. These are really noisy.
Yeah, super noisy.
Right.
It's like a little guitar string here too.
Sick. I've just like started to learn the guitar again, so
Yeah.
you know,
awesome.
I'll play you a nice song on the way out.
Yeah.
with that sprung.
We're
Can't
we're
wait.
joined by Chris Butler.
So have we actually started?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's raise the energy a little bit there.
Comedian extraordinaire,
That's why we brought Chris on. He's got
businessman.
he's got big dick energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, the other day when I got to the Clown and Anchor, got out of the car, felt like a real VIP, like because Tanya had to drop me off and then go find a park, so that was pretty cool. And then you're just like, Mitch, put. I was just like, whoa.
Something like that. Well, I
Yeah.
don't like, you know, I've thought that maybe your spirits needed to be lifted a bit, so I thought, you know.
You thought
could be-
correct.
yeah, so there you go. You
It's
can be
good.
part of the team. Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
a team here. We got to, like, you know, make people laugh.
It was fucking, yeah, it was good. That was a great night. You did really well. So back at comedy, how long was your break?
Maybe like 2 years,
Yeah,
18
wow.
months, 2 years. I just stopped because I was like sick of what I was talking about. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't care about these opinions, you know. I still don't really care about my opinions that much, but like it's become so deep that I don't care that I don't care. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I've become basically an enlightened being. The
Have
like
you met
degree of apathy.
Have you met Jay? You and Jay need to sit down in a dark room.
What's it called? Enlightened
Well, we could-
nihilism.
We
I
could
think.
sit
Yeah.
ourselves in a well lit room, and it would probably become darker as the conversation progressed. Yeah,
Love it.
So, what's the basic theme of this podcast that we're participating in right now?
So it's basically there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you how to do comedy and sort of run lessons or workshops. or that
but
sort
you
of stuff.
invite people on that are perfect examples of how to not do it.
Exactly.
Don't rise to the height of mediocrity, and then don't do it at all for 2 years,
I
and
think
then
you'll
get
learn a lot.
enthusiastic because Mitch arrives.
If that's the best part of your day, it's been a bad day.
Yeah, so that's a shining beacon of, you know, an example of how to not be
How to
comedic.
not comedy.
Yeah.
And the fucking title, I hate the title. Because he couldn't have just how not to comedy like a normal fucking sentence. It's how to not comedy.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it's like a translation of a Chinese podcast or something like that.
Yeah. Fucking. We're going to start a side podcast called How Not to Name Podcasts.
Yeah.
That fucking sucked.
And that's why I gave it the title
Yeah.
that I did.
Yeah.
Fucking confusing.
Well, I
me.
think it's a good title, and I think you guys. I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
appreciate
more for us, the host, than the guest.
Well, yeah, we're basically the only people listening. We just listen back and be like, "Oh, did I say something wrong? Yeah, I did. Oh no, not again."
Yeah.
Don't worry, the guests are the only ones who also carry this thing because we've tried to do it without guests. It's just terrible.
It always, yeah. It always fucking sucks. Ethan ends up like getting Shaz to suck his dick or something.
Well, I get bored, man. And
When you're bored, you get horny.
yeah, you can only talk to the same dude once every week for an hour without someone getting their dicks up.
That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is when you talk to Mitch, you become increasingly horny.
Yeah.
He's staring into my eyes for an hour straight.
This is like a
bit bad.
romantic dinner. You're just sat across the dinner table making eye contact. I'm just here to mediate, like kind of, maybe this is like visitation and you're like not a stepdad, but maybe you're the biological dad, but he's not really trustworthy. And I'm here to show Mitch to you and be like, here, what do you think? Is this the relationship? Any chance of a relationship here?
It could take an incestuous turn, that's for sure. If he's my biological dad in this situation,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate
We
the
just-
level of homoerotica that
Yeah.
you're providing.
Yeah.
Well, we've already gotten into FAP of the week, obviously.
Well, he does love a good wrestle.
I do love a good wrestle.
Oh, fair enough. I just started a few weeks ago Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, I haven't got any erections yet, so I'm behind you guys on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't do it. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 2 lessons.
Yeah.
I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, so the first one was just me trying to breathe for the whole time, and then
The second
one
one
was a large fat man, big sweaty fat man. It wasn't Mitchell, just another big sweaty fat man that was there on top of me, and yeah, that was just I couldn't do it. Like I was sick, like I threw up. I was just like, nah, I can't handle hot, big, fat, sweaty men all on top of me. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I went through a similar thing, and he sprained my ankle, so now I'm on a hiatus. So high five.
Yeah, cool.
You can start from your knees, sort of. You can't really
Yeah,
lock
but you don't
out
want
or
to be
anything, yeah.
wrestling with a. Was that from like he just sat on your ankle, or was it a?
I think I sat on my ankle.
Okay.
He was just new and didn't have any techniques, so he was just like trying to like crush me with his body, I think. And I
Yeah.
was like, let's mediate this a little bit. This is the ancient art of jiu-jitsu.
The ancient art that's been around for 60 years.
Yeah,
It started in Japan,
Brazilian
didn't it?
Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, I mean, you can go by different names, but I think there's like a lineage that goes back before
Yeah.
that, for
There was that
a while.
crazy Japanese dude who just turned up in Brazil and just taught them even more ways to kill each other. And they're just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love how Joe Rogan this podcast has got already. We're talking about jiu-jitsu. Later we're going to talk about ayahuasca and DMT. It's
Yeah. We've got.
Ah, I see. So that's why you brought me on,
Yeah.
because of my wisdom of the jungle that I provide. Yeah.
and to lift the spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm communing with all sorts of spirits. So
I don't know if I have one anymore. Pretty sure I lost mine a long time ago.
That was just your ass virginity.
Oh, okay. That's the way the
Yeah.
spirit leaves the body is
Yeah.
through the anus.
Yeah.
yeah,
Big hairy black man took it from you.
I never would have
that
known.
was really just you in blackface, Mitch. Let's be real.
Yeah, I can't get away with that
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
So we just vanilla fuck.
I don't care. I can't see your face anyway.
Yeah,
good.
when I was doing jiu-jitsu, there was this guy used to come in and he never used to shower before a class. And I don't think he washed his gi either. Anyway, I
a
remember for
euphemism?
some reason he turned around and he farted right in my fucking face. And he was such a fucking gross human being to begin with. And I was just like, yeah, man, I'm not going to do this with you anymore.
That's some
I
Kung
was
Fu
just-
Panda level of combat right there.
Fucking Jesus. It was fucked. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
That
And-
sounds like it was against the rules.
Yeah, I tapped out. I was just like, yeah, man, I don't think I'm going to do it with you anymore. It just had to be fucking mean.
Yeah, and you're like, Dad, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Shh, not now. Mum's home.
So what made you get into jiu-jitsu? Just for health, fitness
I mean,
benefits, or?
I've like become kind of obsessive about like taking on way too many different hobbies at the moment. That's like as part of a self-discovery, self-development sort of aspect, like part of my life that I'm in. So I broke up. Like me and my girlfriend broke up, and then I like went on a trip to Peru, and then I came back and started doing several hobbies. I'm like, I'm just gonna spend time with me, you know.
Gotta stay busy.
I like to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Otherwise the demons come for you.
Yeah. They'll sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I've confronted the demons quite literally.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I wanted to just like, I thought it'd be a fun way to do exercise where I might actually show up compared to like my gym membership, which is like, you know,
It's so boring. Like, I can't do it. I can't get into it. I've tried. I've been maybe 5 times total in my life, and it's always been with a friend who sort of dragged me along. I'm like, yeah, come to the gym, and it's so repetitive and just boring. So anything that I can do, like same deal. I've got too many hobbies, like master of none, but like skateboarding, fucking learning to code at uni, windsurfing. There's just the list really does go on. It gets tiresome.
So basically just filling up my day with things.
Yeah.
So I don't do nothing. Yeah. And it's been good. Yeah. Meet different people, and you know,
Doing nothing's something to do, but it's very hard to do. The old nothing.
Yeah.
I fucking hear that. I mean, not at work for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I'm just
Mitch
like,
is-
I'm fucking over video games.
Yeah.
Just like I'm fucking sick of video games.
Mitch has been having some mental health issues at the moment.
Yeah,
We'll do a
just
bit of
fucking-
podcast therapy for him today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you need
Maybe-
any advice, I can.
Yeah,
you know.
you got
Yeah.
$1,800 spare, but
Yeah, I have. I could go to Peru right now. Fuck it. You need a visa, or you just apply on the day?
Spains don't need a visa.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Tanya, I'm going to Peru. I'm going to come back skinny with AIDS.
That's what I did, and it changed my life. You know,
I'm losing weight like crazy.
I'm learning martial arts, but I can't fight this illness. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. So,
There's a bit. There you go.
yeah.
Lucky we recorded it. You
Yeah.
can use that one later.
That's good. Yeah, and I also it's good because I've recorded in a public forum, but I don't feel I've really burnt the material because nobody's listening.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, maybe 1 or 2 of those 3,000 followers you've got comes across. Fuck, man. How do you
Maybe.
get 3,000 followers? You just
Just people like to follow me. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. They're a
you're
bunch
just
of
whoring
creeps.
yourself out, like photos of your butt on the beach and stuff.
Yeah. No, I used to draw a lot of like kind of sort of
Dicks.
shitty, just
Yeah.
dicks. I just drew
I
dicks.
spent a lot of time in public
They're really.
toilets
I was
too.
known for my realistic dicks, and like, but then it came out that I was really just like putting it into Photoshop and just putting the stencil effect onto some images of myself, and like, then I got banned for a while. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
retained the followers. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So what were you going to say before Mitchell steamrolled your conversation there? You were drawing...
I was just drawing like sort of like shitty cartoons with like multi-layered bad puns, and
Right.
I had like just got a lot of attention through like just using like that kind of hashtags and stuff like that. But I took those off my Instagram because I was like, I don't want to be about that, you know. I want to be about a man paying for a monkey to sit on his face. That's my new brand. So now I've got a thieving monkey as my profile photo, and
Yeah,
that's
Awesome. And that came from the whole monkey in the boat type of story that you told me.
Yeah,
before?
well, I mean, it was just a real monkey that climbed on me. You know, and then I was like, hey, someone take a photo.
Yeah.
And that's what my Instagram's all about these days. And then obviously also photos of you guys as I sit at this table. That's the other half
Yeah.
of the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically my followers are going down dramatically. It's like a stock market crash of followers. It's looking grim from a marketing perspective. But on the other hand, I'm not really selling anything, so it's okay.
It's all right.
Well, it
Yeah.
reminds me of the name of that band called Drugs, which stands for Destroy and Rebuild Until God Shows. So you're in the rebuild phase, or potentially still in the destruction phase.
Maybe. Yeah.
Got to tear it all down and start
It really
again.
depends on the day of the week
Yes.
when you're going through some shit. I've found.
Yeah.
So you went to Peru. What what made you make that decision?
Well, like I said, me and my girlfriend broke up, and then the next day I just decided to go to Peru to do like hard psychedelic drugs in the jungle. But I mean, that's like I guess it's not really an accurate way of putting it. It's had like kind of a medicinal kind of context, and it was just like thought this like ancient ceremonies with like ayahuasca, which has DMT in it, which just reference Joe Rogan's podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it would have like benefits to like some just negativity that I was carrying around. And that worked pretty well for me.
Yeah. So you feel better?
Yeah, so like basically like I had just some like remnants of some negativity and trauma and stuff from like some bad like violent relationship that I was in ages ago, like maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And pretty much like it just like went away in like a minute, even though I've like done lots of therapy and that in the past, and it just like everything just sort of like I let go of everything, and now I'm free to do jiu-jitsu and go for a walk and come and sit here and talk to you guys.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming on, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what was it like? So you get there, you're in the jungle, you're probably going to get malaria. You'd obviously be a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I can just like tell the story, but like it's I'll tell a short version just because it's like quite a long story, and I don't know if people listening to this podcast just want to hear about me going on holiday.
Man,
but,
don't worry, we have no other content to fill.
Right,
don't worry.
So anyway,
just tell us the story.
So me and my girlfriend broke up after we just said, we're going to break up, and like an hour later she'd moved out, and then the next day I was like, I don't want to make my life about just like sitting in this room now, not with a girlfriend. So I was like, I'm going to plan something. And the next day I booked a trip to Peru to go over on a 9-day ayahuasca retreat.
Yep.
And I went to a city called Iquitos, which is about 800 kilometers into the middle of the Amazon. And it's the largest city that's not accessible by any roads. You have to take like a 4-day tour down the river to get there, or you can take a plane, which is what I did.
You could have this crazy, awesome journey by boat. Or you could take a plane.
Just take a plane. I took a plane, But I mean, their planes are slightly less safe than here, I suppose. It's somewhat arduous.
There was a lot of rust.
Yeah,
a couple of loose screws.
But then I took a bus ride like about an hour further into the jungle from that city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically there was like no electricity, and we sit in a big hut called a malacca with 4 other people that were on the retreat.
Yep.
And there's a shaman. You do this ayahuasca at night, the first day you get there. 7 o'clock, you go sit down. You got to get up to a little altar one at a time, and he sort of just like eyeballs you, and it's like, you can have this amount, and just sort of pours it out of like it's basically a reused Coke bottle, actually.
Yeah, okay.
That he like put it into. But then he puts it into like little wooden cup, and you just drank. I drank about half a cup. Went sat down. Didn't have any real effect other than just nausea and throwing up, and sort of being terrified because I was like, oh no, demons are going to come out of the forest. So I was just like looking around like, is that a demon? Is that a demon? But it was just a tree. But
I've been there.
Yeah.
Certainly have.
Yeah, so then I drank another half about halfway through the ceremony, still no real effect. Next day I drank a full full cup at the beginning, and just basically just got sick, and like every half hour I was just like throwing up or like shitting until like 10:30 the next day. But I also started to feel like there was this like big negative energy like kind of like trapped inside my body that I'd been trying to throw up, and I was like, oh no, this is why I'm here, this is what I've got to do. And then the next day I went to the shaman, or he carried me because I was like collapsed on the ground vomiting in the sun, and he picked me up and carried me to bed, and I was like, oh, there's a big energy that I gotta get rid of, shaman. And he can't speak English, so he didn't really understand, but I went and got a translator, and then he told him, and he said, yeah, I'll fix it next time. So then next ceremony I basically went in there more positive. I felt a bit lighter, like I'd been throwing up quite a lot. So I felt like, I've got a bit, I feel like you were throwing up some kind of psychological waste. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Then, I was just imagining like, there's this blue light. It's like sort of coming through me. And then like, I wasn't imagining it anymore. It just started to like actually happening. And you're in a pitch black hut in the middle of the jungle, and you can hear the jungle around you, and you can hear a shaman kind of dancing and singing, going, you know, I mean, not to culturally appropriate. That's probably a pretty bad invitation. But
that's what it sounded like at the time.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if I went to a Western doctor, I guess I'd probably like could imitate and be like, oh, then you went to the hospital, and he was like, oh, do you want some insulin?
I'm sorry, Chris.
You have AIDS.
yeah, you have Peruvian AIDS. So yeah, no, that was that way when I got here. I've lived a colourful life.
You gave them AIDS.
Why does the shaman have AIDS? So what did you do to the shaman? He's been doing this for 45 years in the jungle. He's fine. You say hello to him. You shake his hand. Okay. But then basically I was like throwing up, and there was a voice in my head. It was like, oh, you don't want to throw up properly. You don't want to live life. You just like expect life to be easy and not to be difficult. And I was like, no. And it basically was making fun of me. It was like, you're wasting your whole life. And it showed me like a mark that represented death. And I was like, no, I do. And then I like got up on my knees and my hands and started vomiting more fully into this little bucket that looked like a plastic hat. And then I vomited into it, and my whole body and spirit went through the bucket and into this inverted dimension. And it was like a swampland of like orange and green, and there were large insectoid kind of creatures around, which I didn't look at directly, but I had a pretty good idea they were there.
You don't want to make eye contact with them. You're like, I can see where you're coming from there.
It was kind of like a lizard world. And then what it was like is that I was confronted with fears and like sort of monsters that then I had to kind of confront. And then after I confronted them, I stopped being afraid of it, and I'd be rewarded with a different kind of like energy or something that I like needed. So
you leveled up.
Yeah, basically, I got I got a new life. So the first thing that happened was that like the depression and stuff that I like went there to maybe deal with, it just dealt with that in like a minute, right? And I was like legitimately been in therapy like every single week for the last 6 months to try and deal with this, and it just like got rid of it in a strange way. Or it was just like, you've been holding on to all this suffering that's not yours, and also you've just imagined it and it's not even real. And then I was like, oh yeah. And I just like let it go. And then I was like, and then it was making fun of me and was like, of course you don't know how to recover. You're still sick, you idiot. And like for some reason, the way that the voice of the goddess Ayahuasca represented herself to me was through like a voice that just kept undermining me consistently. like making me feel cocky and then like putting me down, but like in a way where I was just I continually had to let go of my like control and ego, and like just that
you're kind of being peer pressured by the sound of it. Like,
yeah,
you're like, you won't throw up. You're like, no, I will. Just
a little bit.
It just sounds like he was just a good mate.
That's
exactly what you need in a good mate. Someone who's like, you're being a fucking idiot right now.
Basically, it was like that, but it was like it would be evened out with like positive energy that I would sort of balance me out. So it wouldn't be like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and then I'm just like left to feel bad. It would be like, it would undermine my ego. And then if I accepted that, I'd be rewarded with like, first it was like this kind of like vibrational, like life energy that's sort of like mosquito-y buzzing energy that everything is made out of on an underlying level, right? And then I basically just kept having to face different things, different challenges, different scenes from my past, and like strange creatures. And every time I'd get rewarded with like more of this energy, and like I'm still like connected to it now, basically. And I feel like I identify more with that energy, or like as at the core of my being, rather than with my like sort of idea of myself, like as a unit.
Yeah,
it feels like what we are essentially isn't our like sort of ego that's being constructed in society with our roles and like even our physical being, but something like an underlying essence that's aware of that. But it gets minimized like every day because you like just have to deal with shit, But like,
do you feel that like as the days go by since you've done this, that it's just little chip away? Every day?
So like I had like nice like 3-week sort of enlightenment trip, and then like the last 3 weeks since then it's just been like me like letting down that ideal consistently.
It's a bad feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. So
It's the best that can be.
yeah, I'm like, oh, this tax form isn't real. And they're like, you got to fill it out. And I'm like, oh, damn you, son of a bitch. And then it's like, oh, this client is unhappy. I'm like, oh no. I feel bad now. So to some degree, but I'm still able to sort of go back, stay connected to like a more free sense of myself, you know?
Yeah, cool. And like when we were talking about like hobbies and stuff before, do you feel that like if you can get into like some sort of flow state when you're doing something, you sort of get a little bit of it back where you're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like this feels good.
Yeah, I mean, you can get. I think like the main sort of thing I take away from it. I mean, like there was like heaps of lessons and that I can like go into, but like I said, it would take like a while to go into it in detail.
Yeah.
The main sort of thing I guess would just be to. Like it's like really just sort of letting go and like surrendering of my like capacity to take responsibility for things and control things so much, which is like one of the issues. Also just the idea that like I'm this like being and there's being and it's part of like everything that is beingness and that this is fundamentally good. Like, because I think my like relationship with like life itself had been like somewhat damaged where I'm just like, oh, life is shit, shouldn't exist, and like that sort of thing, you know? And I feel like
he's
that's
speaking to my
fixed.
soul.
Yeah, no, well, it is. That's the point. Whatever that
really
means.
Is.
Yeah, but basically, I'm seeing that way of looking at is like a distorted, incorrect way of looking at things now, rather than that I know the truth is that things are all shit. You know, like I feel like that's not really the truth. That's like a delusion. And I like, you know, I'll stick with the way of looking at things that makes me more productive and feel better as well. So, you know.
Yeah, I think it's, like you can call it whatever you want, but it's not a truth, but it's like, because there is no truth. Like people think that they know the truth, and it's like, really, we've got no fucking idea. And to attach onto something that like, oh, I know. And I know that everything's fucked. It's like, you don't know shit. Like,
basically.
I went through that sort of same problem as well, where I was like, oh, I know, and I'm enlightened, and everyone else is an idiot, and I know what's going on. It's like, no, you don't, dickhead.
Yeah. I think
idea.
If you're not, like, you can be shocked and surprised by and hurt by the world, like, if you are exposed to parts of it that are, like, heaps worse than you're expecting, and then you're like, no, this thing that actually hurts a lot is real, and you start, like, believing in that like it's a kind of religion. Like, you're like, oh, no, this is the actual reality, and everyone that's walking around trying to, like, just live a normal life, they're all fools. Because such suffering, and it's true that horrible suffering exists in the world as part of it, but I don't think it's like the most fundamental ingredient of existence. That's the way that I would look at it.
That's a very extremist way to like view things. It's just like, it's all this one thing that is like suffering or whatever.
Yeah, you're probably buying into ideas you don't need if you're like stuck in that, you know, you're stuck in something like, I'll never have these things, but then like you probably don't really need them that much.
It's like getting caught in that sort of feedback loop of like noticing something that's like, oh, I noticed like a yellow car, and now I see yellow cars everywhere.
Yeah,
like
it is. It actually is like that. Yeah, if you sort of prime yourself to like look for negative things, you can like be overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think especially because like with, you know, with social media and stuff, that's like you can be like quite stuck in that screen where like it's just like, oh, nihilistic cartoon, horrible tragedies. There's no hope. Everyone's arguing about things and they're actually all wrong. And that's like, you know. So anyway, though, I became a lizard outside this hut, right? And I was just like vibing as part of the jungle, and I was like, oh yeah, beingness, this is all I have to be. This is all I have. Like, I was like, this lizard doesn't need to do anything to justify its existence. It's just like, and I was like, yeah, it's good. And I'm like, so I'm vomiting, or at least face down in a bucket in a dark hut, and like big smile on my face, like, I like being this lizard, but I'm also kind of like, my face is all numb, and I'm like, it was confusing.
It was confusing.
Then I like became a lion and was filled with like kind of dominant masculine energy, and I like became a man. I'm like, I'm a man, and I was walking around the jungle, and then I was like met my dead grandfather in a little boat, and I was like, who are you? And he showed me this monkey, and I was like, very emotionally touched. And I'm like, oh, who am I? And he showed me the same monkey, and I was like, oh, I understand. So,
And at the time, you really do.
yeah.
Afterwards, you're like, what the fuck?
No, I think I get a basic idea. Yeah, I mean, it's not like, if you look at it, like, if you look at that sort of essence underneath, it's not like, it's not like, oh, you've got the essence of a shark or something. Like, there's a certain feeling about, like, being a bit, like, cheeky and not taking things too seriously in a way. There's a sort of, like, monkey energy that I kind of feel is in there.
Yeah,
you know, like, I don't have to be, like, the king of the jungle necessarily. I can just kind of muck about at the side with you idiots.
I've always said monkeys are my favorite animal. I don't know why. I don't know where I got that from. But and it's that other trope is like the three wise monkeys of like hear no evil, see no evil, speak no
well,
evil.
that could be us three today.
Yeah,
maybe.
Which one?
I'm deaf, so
All right. Well, you're not.
hearing
You're
no
not.
evil.
All
Yeah,
right. Mitch
yeah,
isn't
hear no
listening.
evil.
Mitch isn't listening.
I'm definitely not going to speak no evil.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. Well, you're turning a blind eye to the evil. You're just not listening, and I suppose I'm just going to speak positive things, which is kind of what I've been doing, I suppose. So it works perfectly, and it's predestined that this is where we are today.
So at some point, like you're on your way 800 kilometers into the jungle, you'd have to be like, fuck, I hope I don't get turned into a sex slave. Surely that would have crossed
These are
your
not
mind.
the thoughts that a normal person has in their head. This is why you probably need to go to the jungle.
That's why I need to go to the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see myself as like a potential sex slave. I mean,
Really?
that's how.
Because I do.
That's how Mitch has been looking at me. It's like, oh, he made me so much money, that boy. Yeah. I just did a really ambiguous accent that couldn't really be traced back to anything in particular. So just kind of, it's a money-making man with a gruff voice. That's all he is. But
I went straight to like Texan oil tycoon.
I'd be a deep sea gay shark fisherman.
The sharks weren't gay till you got there, mate. And not by choice.
I'll kill a shark and then I'll suck your dick, boy.
All right, fair enough. I think you might have got married a little bit too soon. No. But
Yes, queen.
oh god, jeez. Okay. But I guess you treat your wife like a queen, like a drag queen. In your own mind. Yeah. So I wasn't really worried about becoming a sex slave. I suppose I would more be worried about a medical emergency where I'm uncontactable in the dark jungle. Because like they're like, oh, the worst side effect of this kind of treatment and this kind of medicine is death.
So is Panadol.
Or enlightenment, as they call it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I said. So, yeah, exactly. Ego death. That was but yeah, I was like, yeah, but like the doctors here are just like trying to shove any kind of dose of antidepressant, and also the bad side effect of that is death. So, or suicidal.
Hands.
Yeah, exactly. Suicidal effects. Exactly. So
I had spiders from the ones that I used to take. That was my side effect, was just thousands of spiders on the roof whenever I woke up in the
Holy
morning.
fuck, that's
Wow.
horrifying.
Yeah.
I think you just need to get some pest control. I mean, like, no one.
They weren't real because they'd sort of vanish after a bit.
Well, just from antidepressants. Wow.
It was a mix of one was Prozac and the other one was mirtazapine, and it was the mirtazapine that was doing it, had some sort of effect on me. And I went and told my doctor about that. He's like, yeah, stop taking that, like, immediately. And spider, like, I'm hugely arachnophobic, so that was kind of like tied into the whole thing. Like, I'd always be seeing spiders around.
Yeah, well, that's like a manifestation of your anxiety is taking the form of spiders.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried if I go into the jungle and have a drink, I'm going to have to deal with a lot of spiders.
I was worried about that as well. And like my experience was kind of like I had to give permission to be shown things that I didn't want to see, or not that I didn't want to see, or that I was afraid of, or So it was kind of like there was a part where like on my last night which I took like a huge dose. And like I was like going through all this different stuff, and then there was like in the darkness was like the devil himself, and it was like I just kept saying like El Diablo, El Diablo. I wasn't doing a accent, but but for some reason I was just like, oh, El Diablo. I'd been in a Spanish-speaking country for like a few weeks, so that's how I interpreted it as kind of Spanish Satan.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I don't want to look at that. I've seen enough.
Fair enough.
So it just kind of like I just like turned over and was like, nah, I'll deal with that later.
See no evil.
Man, it'd be so good if that's the way it worked in real life. If like all of your fucking inadequacies and fears in life, you could just be like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
that's kind of the problem with LSD is like a couple of times you can sort of control it like that, but after like 6 or 7 times, it's like, no, you're going to see the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be coming at you. I hope you're ready for that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw like pretty like sort of messed up stuff, but I kind of felt like I was giving consent at some point. Like it felt like it was kind of staged, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go further into this, and like because I was like pretty keen, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go as like far as I went as I can kind of with it. Like I was taking like a bigger dose than anybody else at the thing basically, and like they were getting really having a lot of strong effects, and I was like, I didn't have any real effects for the first 2 ceremonies, so I just kind of kept upping the dose, and then it went like I had pretty good recovery, I guess.
Yeah, everyone's brains are sort of wired differently, and some people need more than others to get to whatever level they need to get to.
When I was on antidepressants, I had to go in the highest possible dose of that as well, so I just probably just need a big dose of things to have an effect. Yeah, but so how don't we do comedy again?
We got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't done any comedy so far. It's just this
No, this has been good, man.
this is good.
It's a fucking really interesting story.
Yeah,
I've never met anyone who's gone to Peru and taken a fucking buttload of drugs. Tanya came up with the name of the episode on the way here. It's Trip to Trip. Like you're going on a trip to trip.
Oh yeah, why isn't she on the podcast?
Yeah, because she's a fucking woman, and we keep them in the corner where they belong.
Jesus Christ.
She knows
That is terrible.
Don't worry.
So all I'm hearing is misogyny and then homoerotic thoughts. So I think I know what might be at the root of your depression.
Don't tell him that. Make him go to the jungle to figure it out.
Yep.
I get back from the jungle, I'm exactly the same. So what happened? Turns out I'm just a cunt.
Oh god. Okay. But yeah. But I don't know. Was there a question involved in that, or was it just talking about a title?
Talking about the trip.
Yeah, like that. You can call it whatever you like.
Yeah. Where are you doing jiu-jitsu?
So like
don't answer that
listeners can come find me and like put me in a hole or
That's
something.
all right. We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
I want to come mount you.
Oh boy, Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have the same experience with like this.
Jesus!
I'm gonna have like an unclean, overweight guy on top of me. It's gonna make me quit.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I was trying to save his feelings, but you've really...
I feel like it was all right because I've heard you say that like you've made jokes about like being like called pudding and stuff a lot. So it's it's like it's on the table. It's not like
definitely.
like I'd never make fun of your repressed homosexuality because you haven't admitted to it yet.
As soon as I admit it to myself.
But cool. Yeah, I do it in Newcastle somewhere. It's somewhere mysterious. I do jiu-jitsu, although I have had the last week off because my ankle was sore. True.
Yeah.
And what was the next point of what we were doing?
Well,
here?
I guess
we can do premises.
Yeah, we can do premises, get into jokes. So
Get into
I
that
just want to
comedy thing.
showcase my talents, as a comedic person. Like I'm like not as a drug user.
Sometimes they go hand in hand.
they really do.
Yeah. Sometimes
Well,
they do.
you came back, not to fucking just sit here and suck your dick, but I will a little bit. You did come back and you had a fucking killer set, like 2 years off, and you did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, like good, strong, like opener, like first off the.
I just came up with that at writing group with
Yeah.
old Ethan a couple of days
Yeah.
prior. But yeah, thanks for compliments.
Yeah.
I'll take them sincerely.
Yeah.
Maybe you should come to a writing group, Mitchell. Then you could also have...
Maybe I could open one day and not bomb my fucking dick off.
Oh, shit.
Oh man, it's really just become a thing for me, hasn't it?
That's all right.
It just sucks because Ethan, I signed him up first
As revenge.
as revenge, and he fucking killed. It was just like it really fucked with me.
It's like when somebody else fucks your wife real good and you're like, oh, it's not the slot's problem. It's mine. Damn, my type 5
That's
is
where
weak.
you went with that. Straight to cucking. Jesus.
Also,
But I
yeah.
am very jealous of my wife's dildos. I'm like, she shouldn't have those.
Look, I had a quick listen to one of these podcasts, and it was like maybe 55% just like putting shit on you because of you're not pleasuring your wife, and then also being fat. That's what I took away from it.
I don't know why he's depressed, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. but I'll pump you up before a show, so
Yeah,
it'll even it out.
Yeah, you
so-
can thank Chris for the positive energy
Yeah.
that carried
I'm
you
gonna come
through
to
that
his
set.
I'm gonna come to his jiu-jitsu gym and just fucking strangle him.
That is literally biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, no.
No, that's cool. I
strangling
think,
the
yeah.
hand.
All right. Wait. You're a very funny comedian, and you're not very fat, so it's gonna be all right.
Thank you.
So anyway, why don't one of you lads tell me some concepts, and we can get into the comedy aspect of this in the
Yeah.
second half after intermission.
I've done a fair bit of fucking.
That's good. Let's skip over how I went at the Crown too, because I don't really want to talk about it.
No, you did good. You were
It was
like,
all right.
it was like lukewarm, and then you kept at it, and you brought it back, and I was like, that's good. I would have quit if the crowd was rejecting me that
Fair
hard, but
enough.
you stuck with it. No.
I did a whole 7 minutes.
Oh, Chris, you've come back from the jungle a real bitch.
I like it.
Oh no, El Diablo.
Okay, pirate character.
That was the voice of nautical Satan. Yeah.
It sounds like the Joker cringe videos that have been going around.
Man, we've gone balls deep.
We are really into not this is
Joaquin
hard.
Phoenix's
'Cause-
Joker.
Yeah, not just that Joker, like all the Jokers. The
Okay.
Suicide Squad Joker, obviously the main Joker of
Heath
Heath
Ledger.
Ledger's Joker. So there's basically this movement going around called like Gamers Rise Up, where they put like quotes on top of like a picture of the Joker from one of the movies, and it's to do with like inceldom and like stuff like that. Like, oh, Victoria, how could you not choose me? Like, I'm a nice dude, and now you've gone for this guy. You'll see how crazy I can get. It's just really
Yeah.
cringy, awful stuff.
Like before, after photos of like old mate and his fucking fedora, and then like the next photo was him with green hair and fucking like clown makeup, and you just, oh man.
Anyway, what stemmed this whole thing was a certain comedian from Newcastle has been promoting their shows with the Joker in the back. Like, that's the thing.
oh, yeah, I know
think
what
you
you're
know
saying.
who I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't want to shit on that too badly. I just want to say that, like, someone needs to tell him as a friend. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that sort of promo for your show. It's just so cringy.
It's been
on the
like a
internet.
perfect storm too, because you were talking about it a couple of weeks ago when we started seeing, when we first saw the promo.
Yeah.
And then you said it's like, oh, it's a little bit hard to find these kind of cringe things, but when you do find them, holy fuck. And then overnight, like the whole community's fucking Gamers Rise Up has just like exploded. And yeah, now I'm seeing it everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll bring up a couple of memes.
Yeah,
for you.
show me. I'm not really getting why it's a cringe.
You will.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's just basically like fat, nerdy white dudes pretending that they're the Joker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's.
So they're saying
basically
it's from the
it.
perspective of the Joker.
Yeah, like.
All right. Well, that's.
Yeah.
This could be the part of the podcast where I silently look at memes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Shaz upload our sets from
Probably not.
last week?
She also left her hairbrush on the table in there.
She
I'm
wanted an
quite
excuse to
upset.
come back.
I'll have to put that away.
Oh man, I'm not like really part of any kind of subculture, and I don't understand any kind of nuance. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm on board with you guys having a
All
laugh
it basically
at it.
is like, don't think that you're cool being the Joker. It's kind of cringy.
Right, because some people dress up as the Joker. Yeah.
Well, this is what
good.
it says. Whether young or old, brand new or classic, we are all gamers. We snipe our enemies, complete our quests, and most of all, we get shit. And they haven't written shit there. They've
Asterisk it out.
like
They
they
get
don't want to
shot done.
swear.
They get shirt done.
Yeah, and they've used too many of the fucking symbols, so it's
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
enough of that. We're saving
Yeah.
those. We're compiling a bunch of these.
To
send-
make a great scrapbook.
Yeah,
And then we'll
yeah.
send that scrapbook out to you fans. Just
Yeah.
email us in at info@notcomedy.comedy.
Had a premise came up with the other day that I want to write on a bit. It's the Reclaim the Night rally. It's going on the end of October, or is it the first? I don't know the dates. Basically, it's a role protesting sexual assault against women and
It's
children.
like Reclaim the Dark Knight campaign that
Yeah,
you're trying to
exactly. That's what
trying
I'm
to
pushing
start.
for with this one.
everyone's got to
Yeah.
turn up and joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's
But
the...
it's purely for women and children, so it's like no men allowed type of thing. And I went to one of these with my mate who had been sexually assaulted by a woman when he was younger, and he's like, "Let's just go and check it out. It'll be good for a laugh." I'm like, "All right." So we get there, and like the sort of the crux of this story is that like when we turned up, we're like, "Oh yeah, we're just here to like participate," and they're like, "Oh, we appreciate your solidarity, but we'd prefer it if you marched at the back of the line." Like, that is
Wow.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm at the back of the line as like a
Yeah.
shambling man in the night stalking like a horde of women who have been sexually assaulted. This is great.
You're following them.
yeah. Yeah.
What was the term? They fucking Aretha Franklin'd you.
I don't think that's the person. I think you're
Who
going
is
for
it?
Rosa
Rosa
Parks.
Parks.
Yeah. I was so proud of remembering Aretha Franklin, and
She's
I
a
fucked
singer.
it up.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jeez.
I don't know how to go about that premise though, because I don't like. They should be able to have a march just for women or children. Like,
Well, why don't you just say,
need
like,
one
because
for
the
men.
part that's funny about it is that you wanted to be a part of this movement that you believe in, but because it was like for women to feel safe, you had to stay at the back. So you don't have to have it that someone told you to stay at the back. You can just say like, oh, I really wanted to support them, but like then I didn't want to like get in the way, so I was just at the back of the thing. But then like they turn around and there's this creepy white dude just like following them through the alleyway, and like that march actually it became a bit of a run. It was a bit of a fun run because like I was posing quite a threat. So you could do it that way where it was your idea that was stupid, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my note. So if anyone sees him do it that way, no, actually, I don't want credit for that.
No,
you
no,
can just
yeah,
you
you
take full credit. I'll
away from
stay
that
at the
one.
back of that joke, and I'll stay back in the shadows. I think. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, so you were getting called names as well. Like,
yeah,
people
yeah.
were like yelling shit out at you.
Yeah, as I was walking through the streets, they were like, "Faggot, why you're on the wrong side?"
Yeah.
I was
history.
Like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like this is what it feels like to be a woman walking through the streets at night. Like I got the full experience. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it was pretty fucked up.
Got catcalled.
Yeah, yeah.
I love getting catcalled. It's great.
who's catcalling you? Like builders? And they're like, "Hey, get back to work."
My sailor friends.
Well, they're dressed as sailors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one, which is I've gone off the drugs and talking about my dick, and I'm really going into some dangerous like misogynistic territory.
Doing
like,
God's work.
Yeah, like I'm trying to stay on the right side of the coin here. Like I don't want to push too hard. But there was this thing on Triple J I was listening to on the radio the other day about they're considering lowering the ATAR score for women to get into engineering, which is a good thing. Like we need more women in engineering. I just don't want fucking stupid people building my bridges. Like that's pretty much the point of that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
There's a lot of like, it comes into feminism like everyone's equal, like people should be given equal
That's
rights.
That's what feminism means, but that's not what it means today.
Yeah, well, it does. It's just some people have co-opted it and taken it to like the extreme. Like with any movement, there's always going to be people that are in it that are just going to push it to like the nth degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of presumes that women are dumb in a way, and they're like, oh, we need to lower the score for them. And I'm like, no,
Yeah, well, there
like,
would be follow-on effects from that, just in like that. Then the women will score worse in the course, and like they'll rank lower. So then any kind of study about how women perform in engineering will be like, you know,
yeah, because they're letting stupid people in.
Yeah.
And I think like
I think that'll even out. Like, is it just for women only? Like, if you're a woman, you can. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like,
no, that's 100%.
People are
what'll
getting
happen.
mad about it, but it's like it's an accessibility thing. So you let people in. So if you look at it from like the angle of we should build ramps to like let disabled people into the building. Like
it's equity.
We should allow like if women don't have the scores, allow them in. Like that just it sort of makes sense. But like the long term effect is just like uni's a bit of a fucking scam to begin with, and if they just start letting anyone in, how many people are actually going to finish this course?
Well, it's like basically increasingly universities just run as a business, so they can have more customers if they lower their standards.
That's the
in
way I
general,
look at it.
and like if they justify that by saying they want to let in more women, it really could just mean more students that are interested, and then they pay them. But
they don't pay them. The government pays them, and then.
Well,
pay the
it's all on
government
debt.
back.
Yeah. The money's not actually there.
So House and Not Comedy, just talk about some political positions without identifying what the humour is in it.
Well, the humour is like eventually.
I guess it's the wacky idea of a bad engineer. Yeah, like that kind of idea.
Yeah, that's going to be great when shit just starts falling down around us because they've just let anyone into courses. Because they're not just going to stop with that.
Not just anyone, dumb women.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry, I had to say it. Chris is just like, wow.
That's really going to sell.
I'm alright. I've just gone back to the jungle in my mind. I'm just like, I'm back in the hut. I'm like, I'm at peace. Don't worry about it. It can't affect you. You're just a lizard man. That's good. How do lizards mate? But okay, so premises, good stuff. What about Mitch? Do you have any premises? Do you have any pro-woman premises to balance things out?
No,
anti-woman. Anti-university.
No, sorry,
No, I'm the one who's anti-woman.
That's right. Ethan's not anti-woman, but I'm just looking at it as far as what an audience, how an audience would read you saying that.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Why do I pick these topics to go on stage with? I don't know.
Just talk about how you suck in various ways. Just look, how do I suck? And then write jokes about that. You'll get away with it.
Actually, perfect, Chris, because if they let me in to do engineering with my 69 ATAR, there'd be a lot of problems.
Exactly.
And that's where I can start that joke from. Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Well, actually, I think if you're like a mature student, you don't even need to have an ATAR. They're like,
you have to pass Open Foundation.
Yeah, okay. Sweet. Which is harder than the HSC anyway. So many people drop out of high school. Like, I'll just do Open Foundation. And it's like way harder. And they're like, oh, fuck. I guess I can't be an engineer. No, fuckwit, you can't.
Unless they lower the score, then you're straight in.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get gender reassignment surgery.
Ethan's transitioning into an engineer.
All you got to do is pick the box, don't you? You just tick the box.
Yeah.
Just like, yep, I'm a woman. And they're like,
identify as a woman,
you're not dressed like... I beg
Excuse me.
pardon?
It's ma'am.
I've done a fair bit of writing this week. So I was sort of like McDonald's bringing back the McBites. That was one of the ones.
Food with you.
Yeah. Food.
He does his writing at McDonald's, okay?
Yeah.
Looking around.
I just remember, like, I wrote it down. You know how you just get a thought in your mind? You're like, I'll remember this fucking train of thought.
You're just like, the Big Mac keeps getting smaller. They're going to have to call it the bloody Medium Mac soon.
Fucking Jesus.
That's got to kill when you do that.
Yeah, I'll just go into jokes I wrote. Like, if you were to describe me as a person, it would be the lights are on, but nobody is home. There's a good chance nobody is coming home. The house has been abandoned. A homeless man shit in the corner, and there's a man who camps in the backyard. Don't know what I was going through when I wrote that. Just trying to describe me as a person.
Me as a person.
Yeah.
Maybe you could go with the lights are on and somebody's homo.
Visibly, because they're under this light.
The lights are on, and there's a man in the corner sucking a dick.
On your screen as you masturbate.
I applied for a job at a gym. Customer Retention Rockstar was the title. Basically, I talk people into getting back to the gym. At the interview, they asked me how I'd get people coming back to the gym with my physique. My response was, I just asked them if they want to look like me.
Yeah.
And then fucking get back to the gym, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't go to the gym. You know?
yeah. Do you want to fucking look like me, motherfucker?
Do you know how depressed I am? This will happen to you if you don't go to the gym.
So yeah, start Monday.
Yeah, cool. It's kind of like how we do this podcast.
Yeah.
Get people into comedy by like, this is what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't become like me.
Went to a wedding in Taree. If you don't know where Taree is, it's like fucking pretty bogan town. One of the locals wore their good flannel. I'm not even joking. There was a guy turned up to a wedding, suits and all, in a flannel, but it was his good flannel.
It was ironed.
Yeah. I was sitting at a table. One bloke was like, "Kids these days don't know how to party." He's like, "This is like actually pretty much what he said."
Word for word.
Kind of paraphrased, but word for word. He's like, "Oh, kids these days don't know how to party, you know? Back in the day, we used to go to like old Mavis's house and have a fire and, you know, drink piss and stay up all night."
Someone would finger Mavis.
Yeah.
That's the cost of entry.
Yeah. And I'm like, I once partied so hard that I hallucinated that I'd shit myself. I'm like, do you know how fucked up you got to be to not shit yourself, but be like totally convinced you have? It's like pretty fucked up.
That's what happens when you eat these McNuggets or whatever you're talking about. What are they?
The McBites.
McBites, yeah. You have
too many McBites.
If you're on an all McBites diet, you know,
you definitely gotta shit
psychologically
yourself.
you've got diarrhea, but your body is shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, women only. You know, like if you're at a nightclub
Here we go again.
and you smell like a fucking really bad fart. I'm like, I'm 99% certain that's always a chick. And the reason being is because every man always farts at the urinal. We wait to piss.
And that's why girls like to go out just as a group of girls just going out dancing.
Yeah.
That's what they like. They're like, guys, stop bothering us. This is a girls' night.
Yeah.
This is a location where we publicly fart. I've been building up pressure in the office all week long. Me and the girls just get out on the D floor and let loose.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, we're gentlemen. We go to the toilet and we fart at the urinal next to another man, and then we rate each other's farts.
I'm not sniffing other people's farts
No,
at the
no,
urinal,
you don't
man.
sniff them. Well, you hear a fart and you go,
This is
yes.
short man problems. He's creeping.
I'm walking around at that height.
When you're at the urinal, creeping up behind an unsuspecting man, that's how you keep Mitch away.
I'm
You've
just
got to just
practicing
farting
my
on him.
jiu-jitsu, bro.
I don't think you went to a jiu-jitsu studio. I think
He wrestled a dude
I
in
don't
the
trust
bathroom.
that some sticky fat guy. He's like ruined your life. Now you can't stop thinking about him.
That's the first demon I'm going to fight at my ayahuasca ceremony. It's that dude who farted in my face at jiu-jitsu.
So I know I'm supposed to let things go, but come on. Why did I even brush my teeth?
Oh, man.
Oh, you got premises, Chris?
Premises
Or jokes or
promises, broken premises. Okay,
Yeah.
what do I got? I'll have a. So I've got a little.
Did you figure out the Matrix bit? Have you made any progress?
I thought about it a bit, but then I started thinking about Elon Musk and kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole with that. So it's What's it say? Let me see what I've got here. I can't really read my own handwriting, so it's like
That's an issue.
It's a bit of I have to sort of decipher it, and it comes out like it's like me. I'm trying to understand hieroglyphics. I'm like Joseph Campbell when it comes to this.
That's a reference I don't understand.
Oh, he's a mythologist.
Jesus,
Of
he's like one of the
course.
most famous mythologists.
So if you had said Joseph Fritzl, he would have been right on it.
I don't know who that is.
Is he a Nazi?
Oh, he's just some dude in Austria that kept women in his basement.
His daughters. Was it his daughters?
No, I think he kidnapped
They
people.
live downstairs. Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't win custody battles.
You were shocked at my comment.
Yeah, but the only person that's going to be affected by my comment is a guy who's keeping girls in his basement. I know
I take offense to this.
he's a marginalized group to some degree, but I don't it's not going to
It's
affect.
good
50% of
comedy,
the
punching
population.
down.
I don't approve. He's going to send you an angry email.
All I'm
No.
hearing is you attacking minorities. That's all I'm hearing.
Okay, let me just have a look. See here. I've got a fair few, but I'm just going to try and work out one I can actually read. I don't look at the page as I write. This is one of my issues.
Yeah.
I just go into a trance and start like, okay, what have I got here? I mean, there's like kind of an idea how like with Elon Musk is like, he's like he's going to like planning to go to Mars because like it's our relationship with the planet's not really working out, and it's like he's already got like his next girlfriend kind of lined up, and I'm like the kid here, and I'm just like, come on, Elon, we need you, like we can make this work. Just redirect your energies to help in like this home. That's a concept, okay?
Yeah. So yeah.
That's a good premise.
Yeah, so it's a I mean, I'll say I got premises
That's
here.
definitely stemming from the breakup, that's for sure.
What else do I have? I've got like, like I used to have like clinical depression, right? Like what sucks is having depression when you have no literary ability. Like,
You can't smell your smell.
yeah,
can't
you know what
spell
I'm
your
talking
own.
about.
Yeah, you can't-
But
yeah.
like, because like all my heroes, they're all these like great writers and thinkers, and they're like they've got profound ideas and articulate their experience eloquently, and like they help people feel connected. But like, if anyone read my journal, like
They wouldn't be able to read it.
or just like my bad poetry, like yeah. But anyway, so as far as premises go,
Have you got any poems in that book?
No, this is my.
Oh man, I wish you had some
I
poems
have
in there.
several books. Of
Next time,
various-
bring the poetry book, please.
Can we take Mitchell out to a feminist slam poetry night and just see how that goes?
Yeah, they
we
just
could.
think I'm a lesbian. I shave my face or
Yeah.
I'll wear some makeup.
I don't think that's going to fly.
I don't think so either. Or I'll get laid. Either way.
Yeah.
I've got tits.
Do a poem about your tits.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And how that connects you to women.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
You can
that'll work.
go do a bit about bra shopping, maybe, or something like that. Like I'm an A cup, but I'm still good.
B,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm a B cup.
Impossible body standards for breast size. I think that's where your poem has to go.
Jesus. Yeah, so I don't really have any good bits that I would like to share.
Yeah, no, not on here. Keep
No,
them-
I'm gonna like wait till I flesh them out more.
yeah.
That is the whole point of why we started this, which was you've got to throw your fucking shitty ideas out there because it's better to get them out and have someone at least like be able to riff on it.
Or just go, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, like don't do that, and then you do it anyway, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have
That's
have you like sort of put a joke to another comedian and they've just been like, that is a fucking horrible bit, don't do that, and then you did it anyway and it worked?
Oh, never. I don't really talk to people that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got like just weird things I've written down, right? I mean, like people, like a lot of other people, they got depression. They like they become great men, though. You know, it's like Abraham Lincoln. He had depression, and he like freed the slaves. He walked up to Colonel Sanders in blackface and shouted, "Let my people go."
I think you just Freudian slipped a good joke.
A Slanders.
Colonel Slanders. That
Colonel
racist motherfucker.
Slanders. It's not a good joke. This is just I just write down weird things. It's not like the kind of thing that you'd want to share.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. 100%. We
Yeah.
all do it.
That's why we share it though.
Just
'cause
bizarre thoughts.
It's better out than in. Much like
We all know about your
Your dick.
urinal,
Yeah.
your urinal philosophy
Better
when you
out
go
than
to
in.
the toilet with Mitch.
Like your dick at a
No,
preschool.
a couple of my urinal philosophies have been discovered this week, and I am in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I'll just say that.
Golden shower.
Yeah.
You have to tell the story now.
I got a bit drunk. I ended up on all fours in a shower with my mate's girlfriend, and we both had to piss as like we lost drinking. You know, that was the rule. So yeah, girlfriend wasn't too happy about that one.
She peed on you.
She
and-
didn't pee on me.
Oh.
We were both on all fours next to each other. She was peeing,
What?
but it was bouncing off the back of the shower wall onto my feet.
Take turns.
So I'm not getting any tinnier. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Athlete's foot, nah.
Not for this.
Not for this guy.
Not for this little white Jew.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened was went to King's Cross Comedy last Wednesday. That was an interesting room, playing to I think like there was like 20 comedians in there. Like one person that they pulled off the street as an audience member. So that's different. Sydney's a fucking strange place. The other one I went to, Chippendale Hotel. Go check it out. Fun room. Very fun room. I encourage everyone to do it if you hate yourself. If you want to go down...
If you want to not
Or
enjoy
if-
doing comedy.
Yeah, it's just...
If you hate Ethan, maybe. Like, then you might have the same sense of humour as the audience
I'm
there.
going back. Don't worry. If you want
yeah.
to come and hate me there, that's a good place to do it. It's just a box of hatred downstairs at the Chippendale Hotel. It's just condensed.
Oh, yeah, I've performed there.
Have
yeah.
you? Yeah. You know,
You did a gong show, didn't you?
yeah, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a gong. I wouldn't call it a gong show.
I think they brought it in just for you, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know, because we did King's Cross earlier, I think there might have been more audience members and then they left. By the time we got there, it was pretty dead, so it was a bit rough.
Yeah.
If there was actual audience members in the thing, I would have done some jokes, but I just went up there and just started swinging, just attacked the hosts unnecessarily, and
Yeah.
it was weird.
Lesson of how not to do comedy, right? That's what you
don't
got me
attack
for.
the hosts that are putting you on.
What did you say?
I call one dude the blonde Aaron Gox because he's kind of a larger, heavy-set man with long hair. And the other dude, I said, I'm not even going to make fun of you because you look like you might actually kill yourself if I do. Yeah, you enjoyed that. That was kind of the vibe of that
I haven't
room.
seen him there since. I haven't seen him around at all, actually.
They look very tired of life in general, those two.
Yeah, well.
it'd be a long night by the look of it. And then us dickheads rocked up. So, yeah. That's good. Have you been down to Sydney to do any rooms down there? It's
Not for a while. I mean, like, I'm just like want to write new material, and like do that. So I've got a pretty killer Colonel Sanders bit that's like it's pretty fire. I think that it's been well received so far. More like Colonel Slanders, right? Because of the things he says about African Americans. He slanders their good name.
and those people love fried chicken. How backwards is that?
Yeah.
Wow. How dare you?
Fried chicken's pretty good. I wouldn't disagree with that opinion.
Yeah, I hate that that's a thing because I also love fried chicken. I don't know how that trope came about.
What trope?
The fried chicken and watermelon thing. Like the black people love fried chicken. Dave Chappelle did a bit on it. Oh,
Yeah.
and he stole my fucking.
Well,
what?
just because Dave Chappelle has talked about something doesn't mean you can't do better. Okay, so why don't you have a go at dealing
Just start
with...
rewriting his jokes for him.
Yeah, I think that this is the right person to talk about race politics in the US, not Dave Chappelle. Don't
Yeah,
worry about him. He don't know what he's talking
Some
about.
white Australian man.
a white Australian Jew.
I think it's the white podcast to nobody, where that's a literal echo chamber because of the empty cavern of no one listening.
Fuck it.
No.
We're changing the name of the podcast to whatever that was.
Echo chamber.
Yeah, the white podcast echo chamber to nobody.
Yeah, that's we can call it white noise. It could be called white
white
noise.
Ooh. Yeah. How long till we get swastika tattoos?
Your sound guy is going to be like, what was that sound? Oh, no, I can't get rid of it. That's the guess.
That's Ethan talking.
That's good. I feel like you know, this is like moral. You're like the good angel and the bad angel, kind of on my shoulders, like the way that I'm sitting in the middle here.
Yeah.
Aren't they just both bad?
But which one's the bad one? Which one's the good one?
Well, yeah, it's like the good one is like just the bad one again.
Yeah.
Just in a
Yeah.
white shirt and a white hood, actually.
We weren't going to talk about that. I'll be late to
I
my
told
rally.
you to stop wearing your fucking robes on the podcast.
It's cold in
By the
here.
Speaking of white shirts, could you hold that one up, Mitch, or just show us that one? So this is the Comedy Detour shirt that I got last night. There's kind of a funny story with this one. So we bought two. One of them's way too big for Shaz, and I said she's going to wear it as a bed shirt, and then everyone was like, "Oh, that's going to be awkward." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be looking at all your faces while I fuck her." And then Luke goes,
Yeah. I was thinking because it's going to fit in a sensual way.
And Luke was like, "Yeah, you should come on Elliot's face and take a photo and send it to me." And then he promptly went, "No, actually, don't do that. Please don't do that." Because he knew that I would definitely have done that. So he quickly changed his mind. So yeah, there's that story. All right, this is...
Wait, why did you have to hold the shirt up? It's a podcast.
We wanted to show all of our viewers.
I needed a visual aid to get through
So
it.
you remember the shirt you were theoretically going to come on? Well, I can't tell
have
this
to work-
story unless I'm looking at the
You have to
shirt.
work a boner up again. Jeez.
I have a process. Sick.
I'm gonna share it evenly. Everyone gets a bit. Fucking hell.
Good.
Yeah, fat for the week.
Okay, we'll do a quick. See, I knew he was going to ask this.
That's all right.
Faff of the week. You want to start, Mitchell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, do I have to start?
Nothing
What do I have to start doing to
in
Mitchell?
particular. But I just got really surprised by my big load again. I was like, God damn it! I was proud of it. It was big ropes.
Yeah. Well, you haven't been ejaculating so much these days. 'Cause you're on medication.
Yeah. Oh, that was one of the jokes we made up the other day. Was like, antidepressants stop you from coming. So the last time, a few years ago, when I was on antidepressants, was when my wife and I first got together, and I could just fuck for hours because you couldn't come. It was great, and I'm back on antidepressants again, so I was really looking forward to being like, oh, I can fuck for hours again.
Yeah.
But I'm like
Second
fat.
honeymoon.
I'm fat and overweight now, so I really can't fuck for hours. I haven't got the core strength anymore.
All the core beliefs. Just doesn't.
Shit. That was a deep jab. I was going to go with the other angle of like, it's like his comedy, he doesn't even have 5 minutes. But you just went straight to the soul. I love it.
It doesn't
You're
gel
sitting- yeah.
with your misogyny.
Yeah, sitting across from a misogynist and a racist.
Yeah, you're turning the lights out for a whole different reason. I think that makes sense. No,
it was good. It was
in
good.
a way, yeah. In my own
I
way.
just put a mirror between her and I.
Yeah.
I'm the only one I want to fuck.
And the mirror's pointing at some gay pornography. Right?
yeah. It's not pointing at me. I'm hideous.
It's
I don't want to see that.
It's just a topless photo of you when you first got together, and you're like, "Oh, I was an
yeah.
Adonis. Oh man, I was
I had a fucking
medicated."
six pack for a good 2 weeks. It's the best time of my
Drinking?
life.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, fair.
You got one, Chris? You wanna share with the group? You're single now. There has to have been a moment.
Couple of cry wanks.
No, I don't really cry anymore. I don't believe in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all like pretty routine. I mean, my house, there's no special moments. There's nothing's. I'm not lighting a candle or anything. I mean, I am, but not for that. That's because of my spiritual practices.
Weren't dripping it on yourself.
Exactly. I drip it on my body and I say, that pain isn't you, Chris. You are not your body. You are an ascendant being. This cum isn't yours. Sometimes it's not.
It's mine.
It's Mitch. I don't know how he got there, but I trust in him.
I sneak in.
Yeah.
I'm here to practice my jujitsu.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any great masturbatory stories, unfortunately.
Masturbatory. I didn't even know that was a word.
Well, it is.
That's definitely a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
What
Fair
about
enough.
You back on the trend?
On the trans porn?
Yeah.
No, I had an imagination wank this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Imagination wank.
Thanks for doing
Is
that.
this a segment?
It is now.
It's a new segment, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Was that you just imagined masturbating? Like that's how abstract your sex life has become.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, because Chaz has been here all week, like there's no real time to sort of get that out. So
Yeah, she's milking you hard.
yeah. So just imagination wank.
Yeah.
You know, in the shower. Got to do it all natural, just before internet times. So that really took me back to being a young man again.
Your roots,
On the top bunk while I was asleep below you.
That never happened.
That's your imagination.
It fucking definitely did.
So what's your backstory? How do you guys know each other?
We used to fuck.
And now you're just friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Mitch wanted to steal my video games when he first came around to my house to pick up his little brother. And he was like, I might steal his video games. And then,
What were you doing with his little brother?
Just playing on the pinball machine. They're playing pinball.
Yeah.
Anyway, we used to live up like near Taree at a little place called Harrington. And then that's where we met.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I met a lady whose house I threw eggs at one Halloween. She's like told me where
This is
she
the
lived.
segment where Mitch just trails off on a random story that goes nowhere.
I used to do crimes.
Yeah, no,
I'm a pussy, but I used to do
That's
crimes.
what you did in these small towns. Is every
Yeah.
Halloween you'd grab eggs and throw them at kids, and when you ran out of kids to throw them at, you're like, "Fuck, I've still got 20 eggs. I'll throw them at a house." So there was this particular house that I remember getting chased away from, and it was this lady's house, and her husband was the man who chased me.
Was he covered in eggs? How'd you recognize
Not
him?
so much anymore. It was 10 years ago. I'd be worried if he still had egg on him.
I'm a stinky egg man. I'll never forget. I am the Eggman. It's John Lennon of Musselbrook, or wherever the hell you were from. No, I wasn't listening. Much like our audience.
still in
Exactly.
He hasn't come back from the jungle. Holy fuck.
Cool,
Yeah.
man. Well,
Good.
thanks for coming on and doing our fantastic podcast
No
that we're
worries.
super proud of.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the glass of water.
No worries. Is there anything else we can do for you?
A second glass of
Okay.
water.
Yeah,
please.
actually, we should definitely give him 2 glasses so he can bang them on the table the whole podcast.
One of my hobbies is percussionist. Okay. I wasn't talented enough to be the guy that rubs the edge of a glass of water and makes a sound. Yeah. So I just smack him around.
All right. That's the podcast. Love
I do
you.
the same thing when I rub my dick.
Yeah. Bye.